evening and welcome to MCFC 9320 PUBcast. Unfortunately, we've got some very, very bad news tonight, Anne-Marie and Paddy. Arsenal have won the league a short time ago with a 3-1 win over Liverpool.
Was that why Odegaard was taking photographs to the club photographer on the pitch?
Yeah. Good evening to everybody in the chat. Good evening to Tristan in the chat on TikTok as well. Hope everyone is well. So, we'll kick off straight away with the standings and where it's left us in the table. So the table at the minute is Liverpool are out in front on 51. Then it's Arsenal on 49, us on 46, along with Villa. The only difference is there, guys, is we've played 2 games less. And our 2 games in hand are against Brentford, which are both played this month. So, who was the winner today? I thought City was the winner today.
Well, absolutely. No question about it. Because I think it opens things up for us. And what we did see is that neither of those teams defensively are great. You just need to look at the third goal and for Arsenal and Liverpool's goal. You know, defensively, shocking. Yep. Which is a promising sign for us because we think we've got problems with our defence, but I don't think we need to worry so much. And just going back to our game on Wednesday night against Burnley, I thought Núñez had a fantastic game on Wednesday. He played very well. And unfortunately, we gave a sloppy goal away at the end, but you know, we can let that one go.
Yeah, we can. And you know something? I was particularly pleased for Núñez as well because he's not been everybody's favourite at the moment, should I say. But I thought, and you'll vouch for it, what I've been saying about Núñez since he joined us, he will be the real deal for us. I'm not saying he's going to be a Rodri or he's going to be a Kevin De Bruyne, but what you will get from Núñez is a box-to-box player whose turn of pace is incredible. And I thought that, you know, his assist for the first goal as well was just typified that really, Paddy.
Yeah. The thing that, talking about the Wednesday night against Burnley, we were 3-0 up and we bring players off and we bring on fringe players and we concede. And people complain about giving a goal away and we shouldn't have did this and we shouldn't have did that. And then in the next sentence, then they're saying, oh, he should be getting time or he should be getting more time or he should be playing. Like, make your mind up. Like, we were coaching the 3-0. That's the time to bring on the fringe players. If we concede a goal, suck it up. You know, the fringe players have to get their time when we are so far. And like, we were in full control of that game. Like, if you weren't going to bring the fringe players on a 3-0 up, when are you going to start bringing them on?
That's a good point, Paddy. And to be fair, we were coasting, though. I mean, I don't think we ever got out of second gear in that game yet on Wednesday. Another improvement was Doku and his getting back. I thought that looked better on Wednesday night. And it was good to see Haaland get a few minutes on the pitch.
What about that shot from him? But yeah, it's right. We've become known as a second half of the season team, haven't we? And in my head, I'm thinking we've got to start going at it full pelt from the get-go, from the season starting, because we can't keep doing it. And then this season, we started off the season with all the injuries and stuff like that. So still to be with 5 points behind Liverpool, with 2 games in hand. Again, I thought today's result was great. And by the way, my reverse psychology worked again today.
Yes, I saw your tweet.
Yep.
3-1 Liverpool, you dickhead.
No, yeah, but you know the history of my betting and my reverse psychology. So if you think it's the players what do a brilliant job, be it for Liverpool, Arsenal, City, or Pep's a genius, it's not. It's because I'm shocking at betting and my reverse psychology. So all these trophies are down to me, really.
I don't think we started the season brilliantly. We had that little blip about 5 or 6 matches. We drew 5 or 6 and we lost to Villa. But apart from that, we were brilliant. Like, we normally don't start the season like that. So, like, you could say we've been, like, if we finish off the season good, you could say that we've had 3 quarters of a good season rather than just after Christmas as what we normally do. But, like, that result today, we won on Monday night and we won a game in the hand against Brentford. We're 1 point clear at the top, and the league's in our hands then. Nobody can take it off us.
Absolutely. And not only is it in our hands, listen, and it's all this sports maybes and stuff like that, touch wood and la-di-da-di-da-di-da. However, if we win our 2 games in hand, which, like I've said, are Brentford, which is one's tomorrow night and the other one is this month as well, that'll put us top. Yeah, by a point. We've still got I know going to Anfield's a difficult place to go, but it's not out of our remit not to win at Liverpool. So if we beat Liverpool there, beat Arsenal at home, all of a sudden, and we've got to play Villa at home as well. So all of a sudden, that we could find ourselves with a very, very good lead. Even go into Anfield where, something. I'd take a draw at Anfield now. I really would. I won't take a draw against Arsenal at home because it's more they are more than capable to crumble as they do at the Etihad. So it's just rubber stamp. Today's result, really, it's just rubber stamp what I've been saying for a while, that I don't fear Liverpool and I certainly don't fear...
No, but I do think we need to have our head on the game tomorrow night and the game in hand against Brentford. Brentford did the double over us last season. You've got Ivan Toney back. We definitely have to have our head on the game.
Well, I've already spoke to Ivan Toney. He's told me that we're going to win 3-0.
But it's very, like, it's like, question Pep, right? And if you question Pep, you get shot down. Pep's a genius. Pep's won this. Pep's won that. But, like, as a football fan, you're still entitled to your opinion or how you see the game. Like, if they keep Walker back tomorrow night, the almost man mark Ivan Toney, so they don't lob that ball over the top of our midfield where Diaz Jones are going to be for him to run onto. Like, if we leave Walker doing a job on him, that effectively takes away their threat.
Yeah.
But Pep won't do that. He doesn't do it. He never did it against Jamie Vardy at Leicester.
It's a good point, Paddy, because as fans, we know exactly what to expect, though. We've had that off Liverpool as well. We've had it off Spurs this season. We more or less know what's going to happen, but it's almost like Pep fancies us to, if they nick one, we'll nick 2 kind of thing, like Kevin Keegan days. But this tomorrow night is the first time this season that every single player is fit and fighting for their place, which is a huge benefit to us. Tristan saying it on the TikTok chat there. Do I think Haaland and De Bruyne will start tomorrow? I do actually think they'll start tomorrow. Because
you think you start Haaland?
I think Haaland will start. I think Alvarez may get a well-earned rest. And again, and I say it every week, not because he's been playing bad, because I think Alvarez has been playing. I think he's played brilliant this season. I really do. But he quite evidently needs a rest. So we're in an opportunity now where every player, if needed, will get a well-earned rest, because I think after this afternoon's results, Pep and the boys will be like that. Do you know something? That couldn't have felt more perfect today.
I don't think he'd start Haaland. Well, I actually hope he doesn't start Haaland, because if he starts Haaland, he's very easy to mark. They'll put 2 players on him.
Exactly. So that'll give us space in further positions. But let's not forget, if we start with Doku, we start with Grealish. they're still gonna put 2 players on them. So if you think about it, then we'll start, say, for argument's sake, we'll start Doku on the left, we'll start Haaland, and on that premise, which I don't disagree with you with, straight away, 4 players are concentrating on 2 of our players. So the space it'll leave us, and a lot, and something as well. A lot's been said about, but Brentford beat your home and away last season. Well, if we break it down, our minds were on the World Cup.
Yeah.
Just before the World Cup, and we were shocking. We were shocking. And then when we played them at their place, we'd already won the league. So we obviously they're going to be a dangerous team, but we can't judge last season's performances or results against Brentford and compare them to what we've got now, where we're actually fighting for the Premier League again.
No, I think we the last 4 or 5 games I've been saying that we've slipped in the gear. So that one touch, 2 touch football, pass and goals back, the fast movement. Like as I said last week, Foden is on. I don't know what planet he's on, but because you don't know what he's actually going to do, and link him up with Kevin De Bruyne and Silva out on the right.
Yep.
And it's either Doku or Grealish or Oscar Bob now. I think it's as you say, Andy, like that full team is available to Pep. So, and they've had extra time actually. As such, they prepare for this game.
Yeah, and that itself, Paddy, is another huge for me, huge bonus, because what we've not prior to going to Saudi, what we've not been able to do is play a match, then train, then play a match. It's been play a match, rest, match, rest, match, rest. So there's not been much training going on at the training ground. So since we went to Saudi, all of a sudden the players are getting rest. They've had a bit of sun on the back, bit of rain on the heads now, but they're amongst themselves, aren't they, Anne-Marie? Where you know something, they've more or less got to prove themselves to each other now, because we're in a position now where we had Bernardo starting, we had Doku starting, we had pretty much everybody starting because we had nobody else. Now we've got, Kyle Walker, he had and I thought it was genius by Pep as well, leaving him out against Burnley. Perfect, absolutely perfect. But on the right now, you've got Akanji back now. We know Stones can play on the right. We know Rico can play on the right. We know what we can play on the left. But a little diamond amongst that is Oscar Bob, because Oscar Bob can play anywhere as well as Foden or Bernardo can. So all of a sudden, the players know they've got to up their game even more. They won't be able to rest on the laurels, because they know if they don't perform, they're not going to be starting.
No, and that's true. And I think we're like we've said, we're just hitting it at the right time. Full squad, hitting form, and we know what we're capable of.
Yeah.
So I think it's everything's falling into place at the right time.
Did you see the warm up against Burnley? When they grabbed Silva, 3 or 4 of them, the Walker and I think it was Kovacic or something. They grabbed him and he's pulling his nose, and I was thinking, Jesus, they're very relaxed coming up to a football match. Like the kick-off was 10 minutes away, and they were sitting playing with Silva. I was thinking, these boys, these men are not under pressure, right?
Listen, we've been there, we've done it, got the T-shirt, as they say. So exactly, compare that to what we're seeing at the Emirates today, or whether it's Villa Park or wherever. The Villa players, the Arsenal players, the Liverpool players, they're not as relaxed as that, because they if anything, they've got something. Well, they want to achieve something they've not done, apart from Liverpool. I know they won the Premier League, but they've had quite a few changes in their team since then. Whereas the majority of our squad has been there, done it. It's on the back of winning 5 trophies, 5 trophies last season. So if anything, stress won't hit them, because I think Pep takes that away from them perfectly well. Like you see today when, Arteta was bound to be excited when they went 2-1 and 3-1 up.
But Jesus, Andy, you don't run around the pitch like Jesus.
That's what I'm saying. What I know Pep has his moments of.
Who does it remind you of that though?
Mourinho. Yeah, absolutely. So running around the pitch, running up and down the pitch, you play that in turn is going to get their players all giddy, as we saw at the end, where Odegaard's taking long lens pictures and going back to the cameraman.
Why he did it?
It's like I don't know. It's just we're just a different mentality. We're a different monster. We
don't have as much to prove. That's what it is, because we've been there and done it.
And like Alex said there, Anne-Marie, City are already on a winning streak. Yeah, is it 8 on the bounce we've won in all competitions? So all these managers know, all these opposition fans know, City have got it in the locker. I'm not saying we're going to, by the way, because I don't take it for granted. I've had a bit of a wind up on Twitter today since I've been let out of Twitter jail. So I lost track. Look
at it from the opposite point of view. If we were playing at home and we beat Liverpool 3-1, do you think our players would have been behaving like that?
No,
because you see the first one to pick up the camera, pepping around up their backside.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's what I say. Everybody expects us, to go on a 20 match winning streak and stuff like that. Doesn't mean to say we're going to, but when the opposition think that, that's going to unstable them more than it's not. That's putting pressure on them, not putting pressure on us.
Even when, like, if you go back a few weeks ago, before Klopp made the announcement, and Kevin De Bruyne was back, and he was running up and down the sideline warming up, and of course the stadium reacted to that. And that got to Klopp so much, he actually says it in the press conference. He says about Kevin De Bruyne warming up.
Yeah.
He said it just shows you that we're never out of our minds.
No, and that's what I mean. Like,
we're living rent free in the heads.
Oh, absolutely. DC says, hope Haaland scores against Brentford. It'd be nice to boost for everyone. Yeah, well, Haaland, he's had 2 months out and he's still joint leading goal scorer in the Premier League. So everyone had a bit of a giggle, in particular the City bench when he fluffed that on.
Did they what?
What day was it? Was it Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Yeah. But do you know something? We can afford to do that because we know the next one he'll bang in the back of the net. He had about 3 or 4 chances. A fit on his game, Haaland, would have put them away with ease. So we've got nothing to prove really. But yeah, we're on that winning streak. I'd love Haaland to come on. Good evening, John. Hope you're well. Just trying to see who you've pictured. Is that with Colin Bell?
Good to see you, John.
Yeah, good to see you, pal. Julie says, I don't like it. I've got 2 screens to look at here because I'm doing the TikTok as well. We have to save our energy. What do we always say? It's a marathon, not a sprint. Absolutely. And some City fans will call him, we should have put 6 or 7 past Burnley. Once we got to 3-0, it was like, right, let's conserve some energy for the next match. What's the point in burning ourselves out, going for 6-7, risking an injury, when we can just cruise through a game like that, and then we go again for another game? I just think it was perfect game management by Pep and the boys.
Yeah, but why can't people see that?
Because we're greedy. We're greedy, Paddy. We always want more.
Well, I would take 2-1 for the rest of the season.
I'd take 1-0.
So would I. I'd happily do that. But I think you're looking at teams like Burnley, and I think although they seem to have put in a few performances recently, Luton, that you'd be expecting, our supporters will be expecting us to go out and absolutely hammer these teams. Mm-hmm. And actually, it's not that easy to do that now because the teams sit back and defend. And these teams down there are fighting for survival as well. I mean, I think, unfortunately for Vinny, I don't think he's got a chance of surviving. But Luton, when you look at the last 2 results they've had, you know, are laughing a little bit because it's put Everton back in the mire.
I agree with that, Anne-Marie, because you only had to see, and it just proves exactly what you're saying. Because when we played Luton away, and I know we've got a goal there in the cup, but in the league we went to Luton, they booted us up and down. They won't boot us up and down at the Etihad. They'll do it on their own ground, but they won't. They will be annihilated and I'll say that with confidence. They will be annihilated. I know they've been scoring some goals and stuff like that, and they'll be looking for that ball over the top, but you'll see a different Luton at the Etihad.
We play them in the cup first before we play them at home.
Yeah. We play them in the cup in a couple of weeks, I think, don't we? It's a midweek game.
Yeah, and like Alex says, you forget City breaking curses, Champions League, Tottenham example. Yeah, like we've gone to Spurs now. We've got, to be honest, I thought Spurs got in the cup. They got off a little bit light with a 1-0.
Yeah, they did.
We can go to Anfield. Listen, I've said this for God knows how long. Why are we just scared of going to places or playing teams or going to places? We're the treble winners. We've won 5 trophies.
I know, but Andy,
we're not a bad team.
This is where the typical City comes in.
That's gone.
Because it hasn't gone. It's still there to some extent. It's like going to Tottenham and scoring was one thing, winning the game was another. Like years ago, it used to be Middlesbrough. We couldn't go to Middlesbrough and win ever, or play them at our place and win. They were like a bogey team for us. And you have teams like that, and you have grounds like that. We went 20 odd years or more than that. Was it? I can't remember how many it was since we'd won at Old Trafford before we won in 2008.
Did Mancini ever won at Anfield?
As what, mate?
Did Mancini, the manager, for the subject, all the contract stuff onto the table, did we ever win Anfield with him?
I'm not sure when we last won at Anfield. Did we not win at COVID times? I was at the Etihad.
No, we did. But they don't count that one.
It's all right. I don't count that because I don't win them. I don't count them winning the Premier League during COVID times because I had COVID at the time and I just forget about it. It's part of the long COVID. I think.
We've been saying on here for the last number of weeks, I think, that Liverpool are no great shakes, and they got found out today. So that result today was no surprise to me because Liverpool have been lucky up until now.
No, I agree. Like Section says there, Brentford are due a hiding from City. They've not been on the end of one yet and way past their due date. Totally agree. And again, that comes down to they're a big physical team. La-di-da-di-da-di-da. They're not at the top of the Premier League, and they're not at the top of the Premier League for a reason. Because they found their niche. Like, let's look at the next month, if you like.
I can see
the next fixtures. Let's go through the next fixtures. So we've got obviously Brentford tomorrow. Then we've got Everton at home. Then we're at home to Chelsea.
We'll hammer them.
And we've got a European game in between that.
Yeah. But I mean, just league matches, and then we've got Brentford at home. So you fancy us to win? Listen, I'm not being arrogant or anything like that because I'm just being realistic. You'd expect us to get 3, 6, 9, 12 points out of them next 4 games.
I'd expect to be top of the league the 20th of February.
I'd expect us to be top of the league as well, mate. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's let teams worry about us. And you're right. Liverpool are not the team they was. And I've said weeks ago, I don't fear them, and I don't fear Arsenal. I really don't.
They took off the so-called best right back in the world today.
I don't play for him.
Terence Trent D'Arby.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they're a bad team, but and you'll know when I did when I did all me predictions at the start of the season, I didn't have Arsenal in the top 4. If you remember, they might sneak into the top 4. I don't think they'll be top 4 come the end of the season.
No,
I can't see who'd take the place, Andy. To be honest,
I can see Villa. I think Villa will do all right. Yeah, I think they might finish 4th now, but I wasn't wide off the mark. Just because they've jumped up to 2nd today doesn't mean to say they're going to sustain all that, because they bottle us at the end of the day.
It's very easy, and we see it week in, week out. When we meet teams, they've been shocking, and then they meet us, and they play like Brazil in the 70s. And Arsenal raised their game today for Liverpool, obviously, because it's a big match. But Arsenal won't reach that level for the next 6 matches. And that's when they're going to drop points, because they won't be at it, where they don't have our mentality that we keep going, and we don't stop. That's where Arsenal are going to come unstuck. I was never worried about Liverpool, because I think Liverpool have been extremely lucky this season up until today, and as I say, they got found out. But
it's like today, Paddy, in the first half, Liverpool. In the first half, they didn't have a shot on target and went in 1-0.
Yeah, your man handballed and hit the ball in his own net.
So it's like Tristan says on TikTok that he thinks Arsenal will get 3rd. Yeah, I think they potentially get 3rd now. I agree with that. But at the start of the season, I didn't have them in the top 4.
Where do you think Liverpool will finish? And that's a serious question.
2nd.
I don't think so.
No, it's about opinions. I think they'll get 2nd. I think Villa will get no. In fact, I disagree with that. I think Arsenal 4th, and I think Villa will get 3rd. Listen, time will tell, won't it? Come May, really. But
I don't think Liverpool are all great, any good shakes at all, to be honest with you. They're certainly not the team they were a few years back. Don't
say great shakes, mate. Everybody hates our owners. Julie says now we have to have our eyes on Brentford game. Focus. And I totally agree. Totally agree, Julie. We can be, whether it's confident, blasé, whatever, but the players and Pep won't be. They will be focused. Thankfully, it won't be us playing. It'll be them boys.
I think I said a couple of weeks ago on the podcast as well, when we were coming home from, according to Pep, this is, when we were coming home on the plane from the World Club Cup, when we were going to be 10 or 12 points behind, which we weren't, Pep says he heard the players back of the plane discussing the Everton game. He says that's how focused they are. And they were on the way back to the UK at that stage, and they were talking about the Everton match themselves, not even him. So I think there's no hiding spot in that dressing room. I don't think complacency will be allowed to creep in, because you often hear Pep when he goes in at half time, he doesn't speak to them. He says I don't have to speak to them, because they speak themselves, they dig each other out.
And you're right, because that just shows the leaders, captains, what we have got in there. Pep won't need to, whether we're winning or losing or drawing. A manager shouldn't really have to say anything, because if a team has had a shocking first half, for instance, what can the manager say? Because then players will know themselves. In the changing room, they'll know they've been shocking, so they should do the talking. It's different for a manager at the end. If I'm not just saying Pep, any manager. That's when, for me, that's when the corn, is earned. Where if you've had a shocker, it's then between that final whistle and the next match for that manager, whoever it is, to put it right, on the training pitch.
I've never known a team, and I'm open to correction, but I've never known a team with 5 captains, and we have 5 captains. All picked by the players.
But you're reading too much into that, mate, because a captain is a born leader, not just because he's got a piece of material on his arm. And that's where people, listen, at the end of the day, a captain with a material on his arm or her arm or wherever, any team, not just City, all that's there for is to go and toss the coin to see which way they're kicking off. Your players and your leaders, they should be all on the pitch anyway. Not. And we've seen the lack of leaders with the likes of United and stuff like that. I always giggle when I say that word now. That's where you lack of leaders, and that's what the team with the most leaders on the pitch, I would say, go on to win things. And I don't think it's any coincidence, Anne-Marie, do you?
No, and I think you even see it on the pitch. You know, the way our defence is managed. You know, if so say Walker's playing and so he's got the armband and Kev's in midfield, Kev's shouting instructions to people all the time. Diaz does it. He's the voice at the back, really. And it's encouraging to see, because nobody can rest on the laurels when it's like that. You've always got somebody telling you you can do better, you can do this, you can do that. And I think, you know, the team as a whole is in a really healthy position. I think we've got a fantastic team spirit. We've got more than enough ability to go on and go on a massive, streak now. And we've got everyone fit, you know, for the first time this season. I think it's a really encouraging time for us.
Yeah, and as I say, that's a good point, that, Alec. Wasn't long ago someone worried about Newcastle. Where is Martin anyway? I've not spoken to him today.
I had a thought there. I could be wired to the moon. I probably am. But is Pep banned from the touchline for the next match?
Don't think so, mate.
I don't think so.
I think he got booked. I think he got booked there in that one of the games before, and it was a touchline ban.
Don't know.
Well, if he'd have got booked in one of the games before, the touchline ban would have been for Burnley.
Yeah. Nick says City players and Pep would celebrate like Arsenal did. Come on. I don't think to that extent. I think they'd. I don't think to. And that's, listen. We don't know. Let's hope if we beat Liverpool at Anfield, we beat Arsenal at the Etihad. For me. That's the same kind of scenario. So time will tell on that one. But as always, Nick,
I don't think we've ever celebrated a game like that.
I have. Good evening, Steve. Evening, all. Good to be back after several weeks of granddad duties. You should have brought and listened to this, mate. Would have put
them to sleep if nothing else, Steve.
You speak for yourself. Tristan, yeah, good to see you, Tristan. Cheers, pal. So, with regards to today's result, are we right to get a bit giddy over it, or like Julie says, one game at a time?
Definitely one game at a time, and we just take it as it comes, because, you know, anything could happen. Anything could happen. We could have a blip. We could, you know, there's lots of things that could happen. So we take no more than Pep does, one game at a time. So we focus on Brentford tomorrow, and then after tomorrow, we start focusing on Everton on Saturday. We don't go looking too far ahead, because it's, you know, there's still a lot of if, buts and maybes in this league. And as you know, who'd have thought there'd have been a 4-4 draw at St James's Park yesterday?
Yeah.
A lot can happen.
Against Luton. I just want to smash Luton for the way they relegated us. And believe it or not, over-celebrating David Pleat.
Yes.
Big Morg, good evening, mate. Where's Stan the man? Unfortunately, Stan, I'm not going to take the mic lever this week. Stan's not feeling too well over the past few days. So told him, get some shut-eye, try and get some rest. Hopefully he'll be back with us next week. So I'm sure you all wish him.
Yeah, we hope you're feeling better soon, Stan.
Exactly.
Yeah, Alex says, well done, City women too. Yeah, the women are on top, as it were.
They were, but Chelsea are winning 1-0 at half time, so that'll put us back into second.
What's Paddy laughing at?
Yes, I know exactly what Paddy's laughing at. The
What?
same thing you were.
I was
About City women being on top. Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
I resemble that accusation.
Because it's typical man sniggering at it.
Excuse me.
The two of you are sat up there giggling like little kids.
I don't know what you mean. Pardo Oak says goal difference is going to be vital this year. That's why we need to go for more goals. I don't think I often disagree with Pardo, but I think it'll just be down to pure points this season.
No, if we keep playing the way we're playing, we'd won that league by 6 or 7 points.
Yeah, Gunners
I also
in the
think at some point too, we're gonna have a game at home where we're gonna absolutely batter somebody.
Arsenal. We'll batter Arsenal, Gunners. Good evening, mate. Is in the chat on TikTok. Gunners is saying buzzing, getting we never die, mate. Mate.
Just reminding him about Notts Forest.
Go back a few months, mate.
Yeah, let's go back to Forest last season.
I couldn't get yourself checked out for Alzheimer's.
Old timers, that's what used to have got. Nick says it's not the scoreline I had a problem with in the Burnley game, it's the conceding stupid goals all the time.
There you go. They bring on fringe players, leak a goal. So what?
What do I know about a fringe?
They keep the starting 11 on, is it? And tire them out or risk injury. When you're 3-0 up, that's the time to take players off. And if you could concede because of that, tough, suck it up.
I think that to be fair, that goal though highlighted what we've been saying, that Gaviscon is a good player, but he's not a left back.
Gaviscon.
You know, and I think that goal against Burnley was highlighted that fact.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very soft goal. It was a very soft goal, and it came right at the end of the game. So we didn't actually have anything to worry about. But you know, the stupid goals will cost us at some point.
Speaking of which, Gunners has said in TikTok chat, Andy Rob Holding ain't winning it you this year. That's a good point, mate. But it looked like Saliba and Gabriel will, the way they was performing today. Julie says, some fans are worried about goal difference just in case it comes down to that. But we aren't too far away. I agree. Just what I said, Julie. I just think it'll just be pure points. And no doubt Gunners will be happy with third or fourth, won't you, mate?
I don't care if we won it on goals against.
Section says, I still have a hard time not feeling the typical City feeling. You know, something, and that's what I said, Emma, you still got the typical City.
Yeah.
Cityitis and all that. Give me one example. If we'd have been typical City, I'd have said in the Champions League final, right at the end, we'd have conceded that goal instead of Ederson being and making them save.
I know, and I know, Andy. The fact is, in reality, there is probably no more typical City. But having been there and watched them for so long, it's like it's ingrained into me. It's like it's like a stick of rock that's got Cityitis running right through it. You know, even if you go back to when we won the title in 2012 with the Aguero moment, you'll hear Martin Tyler say in the commentary, "Is this typical City?" And it so nearly was.
But at that time, that was 2012. But since 2012, there'd be so many typical City moments. There'd have been against Villa being 2-0 down when we went on to obviously win the league 3-2. There'll be the Champions League, like I've spoke about. There's so many moments for me to listen. And let's know in the chat. Do you see still typical City? I don't.
Would you not say Chelsea 4-8 was typical City?
Yeah.
No, I'd say that's typical officiating. Like, would you say it the same about Spurs? No, that was typical officiating stroke VAR. You could say the same about Liverpool, the Akanji, what should have been a goal. That's not typical City. That's typical officiating and VAR again. It's this difference between.
I know the fact that these decisions go against us, though, Andy, brings back that feeling of typical City.
But those typical City, you could say other teams suffer the same, whether it's a goal disallowed or a goal against them. That's not a typical Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool added. That's typical bleeding VAR, that and officials.
Yeah, so they've never sat in the stand and been 3-0 up and thinking, Jesus Christ, we're going to get bid 4-3 here.
But do you think that? Yeah, it used to be, but do you think that now? If we went 3-0 up, would you be sat in the stands going, we need another one here to be sure?
I wouldn't. I don't think I've ever been relaxed watching a football match. Every time we play,
no, I expect us to win because that's like we've got a divine right. Not at all. I fancy us to win, because of the way we play, the players we've got, the manager we've got. We're always, and that's whether we play a Real Madrid, Barcelona, or Burnley, or Brentford. I think we've got a chance to win every game what we go out to play, but doesn't most football fans?
There's one thing that I will never, ever, that I take my dying breath, get used to, and that's playing out from the back. It gives me heart failure. I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
It does sometimes, the way they pass it back to Ederson.
But, okay, spin it round again. Boop, 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 boop. All teams play like that now.
I don't care what other teams do.
Who would you rather be playing out the back, City, or have you supported Gillingham, for instance? Because it doesn't matter what. Near enough every team in every league plays out the back now. So if you as a Gillingham fan, I'm sure you'd be more nervous with them, their defence and their keeper playing out the back than you would with Ederson and our defenders. Surely.
But are you saying that you sit and you watch Man City coming out from the back and you, like, say against Liverpool, who are a high-pressing team, and you think, I'm comfortable with this. This is okay.
Now I am, yeah. Now I am. I never used to be. Look
what Burnley did this for the first 11 or 12 minutes on Wednesday night.
Listen, the good Ederson or I nearly said the best keeper in the world then, but I consider him the best. Ederson or any keeper or anybody can make a mistake. Easy. However, you don't fancy that keeper tonight. Alisson makes howlers all the time.
He had the third goal today.
Yeah,
that's his legs.
That's what I'm saying. I'm more comfortable as a City fan watching City play out the back than I would be a Liverpool fan watching Alisson play out the back. It was only a couple of seasons ago where he gifted us 2 goals in a matter of minutes. Let's not forget it. It's Pep who introduced all this playing out the back. Whether we like it or not, it's not going to go away. But yeah, of course, Ederson is going to make the odd mistake, or a defender's going to make the odd mistake. But it's fewer mistakes than we're going to see.
But like say, I'll speak for myself, right? When we're playing out, and my heart's in my mouth, they're coming on this, and we're pressing it around. Yeah, it looks good, and everybody's available, and Rodri makes himself available. And then when we get to the halfway line, I think, oh, Jesus, thank God. And then we get up into the third box. But then when it comes back to ours, and we're playing out from the back again, I'm thinking, oh, dear Jesus Christ, just hoof the ball, will you? Hoof it. Just get rid of it. And they don't.
That's because you've not adapted with being a very, very old City fan.
But I don't want any software updates. I just want peace.
No, wait, because how have you adapted to it, Anne-Marie? Are you sort of like, it's different when it first, because it was like the unknown to us, but now it's just, for me, it's just like the way
it's different now. It's different now whereas I would maybe panic before. in the early days. I don't panic so much now because I think because we're so used to doing what we do that we've always got a way out of it. But there are sometimes, and even on Wednesday night, when Edison plays that ball through the middle along the ground, that worries me because I just feel like sometimes it can be so easily intercepted. But I think we've got what we're forgetting is we've got the amazing ability now in all positions on the pitch that they can control the ball, pass the ball, and yet sometimes we will make mistakes because we're only human at the end of the day. But
we're only human after all. Sorry.
But it's an absolute joy to watch sometimes. The way we play ourselves out of difficult positions is incredible. I think, I honestly believe we're spoiled in what we're watching.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because when you watch some of these other games, still in the Premier League, and you're thinking, what we see week in, week out, and what you're watching week in, week out is like we are leagues apart.
That's it. As much as we ate the rags, obviously. The football I used to be really jealous of the way they played football and the stuff they won. We're levels above what, in my opinion, I might be biased, but I think we're levels above our.
Do you know what drives that home, Andy? When you are watching, say, two other teams playing, and somebody has the ball, and you think that pass should have went there because that's what City would have done. That pass should have went there, or he should have did that, or it should have went here, or should have went there. It doesn't happen, and you think to yourself, Jesus, like City are good because that does no. It's just non-thinking football. Like the way Foden takes a ball, he knows where the ball's going before he gets it, and he learned that off David Silva.
Do you know when? And again, no disrespect to say the likes of Everton and Sheffield United. I don't know. I've just put them two out there. If you're watching Everton versus Sheffield United,
I'd be asleep.
Do you get frustrated because you're thinking, why not? And that's a typical example of why we are spoiled, because the football we see, other players and other teams can't do that, and that's not just down to buying quality players, because we don't buy superstars. You might argue with Haaland, but generally we don't buy superstars. We actually make superstars now, and that's down to Pep and the backroom team. Pat says February's our chance to seize the lead. I want this slight buffer just in case we get it wrong at Anfield or when Rodri inevitably gets his second game ban of the for the cards. I don't know. I'm just calm about it because we're in a position now, like I said earlier, where we can now rest players, give them some much needed rest when against not so great teams. I'm confident Kovacic and Nunes can sit in there and give Rodri a breather, whether it's give Rodri an half a match breather, starting but give him half a match. We're in that position now. I'm more than confident. So I think that's where we've changed a little bit over, as the season's gone on.
I'd still like to see somebody coming in the summer to ensure that Rodri gets a rest.
But
I think we'll have an interesting summer in the transfer window. I think January was non-existent for us and was never going to be. I have to say, I feel sorry for Calvin Phillips. His first touch the other night, oh dear Lord, I felt for him. But hopefully,
what about today?
I didn't see him today. I have to be honest.
He give United their third goal.
Oh, I don't. Well, you see, I don't. If I can help it, I don't watch them. I'll be honest about it.
I feel for him, but I do genuinely feel for him, Anne-Marie. But
it shows why we got rid.
It shows why Pep wasn't playing him because if Cal, and I'm only assuming here as a fan, I should imagine if he performs like that in training, no wonder he's not getting on the pitch. Yeah. But obviously, I wish him well and stuff like that because I want West Ham playing.
And you need to take him off our introduction.
It's just, I don't know. I do feel for him as human being level. But, you know, Alex says, hope Diaz is switched on as he's been a bit on off. My only worry, including Rodri card. I agree about Diaz, and I think we've said it pretty much all season, haven't we? That for me, Aki's been our defender of the season. So
Diaz has had other things on his mind, hasn't he? And thankfully, they're out the window now. So
hopefully, I can't see him getting a groin strain anyway. No,
now. Me either. So hopefully, we'll see an improvement in Diaz.
Yeah, we will do. As I say, Diaz himself knows he's got to play right because he's not going to find himself in the starting 11. Yeah, but
Rodri's only on one card. What's the panic about Rodri and cards?
What's the script with that with Rodri?
After 19 matches, goes back to 0.
That's what I thought.
He's only been booked once since.
Pat,
I didn't think it had gone back to 0 yet.
Right, Pat, seeing as you've thrown that grenade, just do a bit of research and let us know, mate, so we know during the show. Cheers, mate. Yeah, I thought it was that. I've got something in my head, something about 19 matches. It goes back.
I checked it last week.
It wasn't until March.
I think on the TV screen they still tot them up.
Yeah,
for some bizarre reason, but I think in normal world they don't.
No, it's definitely 19 matches.
Julie says, hopefully Pep has figured out who to play midfield, where we can win in case Rodri can't play. Again, I don't know about you guys in the chat. I'm comfortable with Kovacic against some teams. I'm not saying against the top teams, but I'm more than happy for Kovacic to sit in there. And
what about tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, Rodri.
Are you not confident, so?
No, what I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying I would go full pelt tomorrow night is because of today's result. Because today's result for me is like, right, let's get right on their collars now.
What you mean is when we're playing lesser teams at home, Rodri can sit down on the bench for himself.
Yeah.
But not away to Luton or not away to Brentford or not away to Sheffield Wednesday or in the evening.
That's what I'm saying, mate. We can afford that luxury now, can't we?
Yeah, Rodri's had 7 yellow cards this season. And you're right about the 19 games. It does kind of reset in theory. But if before the 32nd game of the season, Rodri's had 10 yellow cards, so bear in mind he's on 7 at the minute, he will automatically get another ban.
Catching Pep up.
When does that come in? What date? March, Amory?
It's not necessarily. It's whenever the 32nd game is.
I've got a feeling that 32nd game is going to be after the 31st. You know.
Or before
and including the 32nd game of the season, to get the ban for a further 2 matches.
So that's when he hits 10, then, isn't it? 10 yellows.
Yeah. But if he hit his 10th yellow on the 33rd game, it wouldn't count you wouldn't get a ban for it then.
Listen, I know we've got to always work on worst case scenarios, but there's no reason for him to get stupid yellows if we're in comfortable positions, because, as I say, we can afford the luxury now just to give him a well-deserved breather.
When we're 7 points clear with 3 matches to play, Rodri can have 14 yellow cards with the league won.
Pat says we've got dating app Diaz back now too, like a Portuguese Maldini when he's single. Don't know. Anne-Marie still wants me to sort him or like you've been asking. Do you know, like you've been asking Anne-Marie for? You wanted a Diaz one.
You haven't. You're going to play.
Anne-Marie, I know you love me.
I love him. Absolutely love him.
Where Where did you actually get that footage, you muppet?
It was John. When John used to do the shows, it was John.
John made it.
He didn't
And
make it.
that my talking afterwards
He didn't.
was...
No, John didn't make it at all. He interviewed Riyad Mahrez directly.
No, he didn't. And the bit where I'm talking was from Christmas 2021, I think, and City had just beaten Brentford over Christmas. Phil Foden had scored, and that's who I was talking about.
Yeah,
Phil Foden was about 18 then, 17. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know, and I'm old enough to be...
Get it out. Get it.
Oh, Paddy switched on. So you were saying that about a minor?
Well, he wasn't a minor. He was over 18.
What, 17? 16 and 17 is not over 18, love.
No, but in 2021, he was over 18. I'm good.
Swiftly moving on before you choose. Well spotted. Good evening, Martin. Hope you're well, pal. Where do I go with this one now? Paddy. Good evening, BB. There wasn't anything for City to worry about on display in that game today. Absolutely agree, mate. But that said, for that to be there, we've got to do our business tomorrow.
And you can only beat what's in front of you.
Oh, you sound like me now.
No, she's never that boring.
No, exactly.
All right, carry on, guys.
I'm serious.
Carry on with it.
Thank God he's gone.
I know we can talk sense now, Paddy.
Yeah, exactly. I think tomorrow's going to be good. I don't think Brentford are just going to lie down and let us tickle their belly.
There's no way they are. They're going to feel confident of beating us tomorrow.
Yeah. But the
so
only
I think we have to be properly focused on what we're doing.
The only thing, the frustrating part for me is giving Ivan Toney half the pitch to run into. That's going to drive me nuts. If they do,
we have to be switched on to that because we know that's what they're going to do.
But when we scored that free kick where De Bruyne passed to Alvarez for the second.
Oh, against Burnley, it was a great goal.
Like that tactics coach or wherever he is, like surely he turns around and says to Pep,
Carlos,
stop giving Ivan Toney half the pitch to run into, would you? Or put Walker on him. Like, no, it's as plain as a nose in your face. But watch tomorrow night, the first ball they get, boom.
It will, but it does show that they do the homework on the training pitch. And like I said earlier, we're actually getting time now to train on the pitch, and that proved it with the De Bruyne assist with that free kick.
I know, but are we doing our homework on what to do with Toney tomorrow?
I don't know,
because we know what's going to happen. It's going to be long ball, and we're going to be doing a lot of chasing back, I think.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, why do you think that?
Well, if it was up to me, Walker wouldn't cross that half line tomorrow night. He'd stay in our side of the pitch. Yeah, absolutely.
Good man. I would as well.
Walker, Stones, Diaz, and Aki. That's your back four.
Mm-hmm.
And then Edison, obviously, in nets. I wouldn't start Holland.
Okay, let's go. Look, get the book out now. That was from.
This is actually impossible.
That was from Thursday's Factful show. What me, Martin, and Pat did. Put them right there, didn't we? I'm just looking for a pen. Oh, got one. Right, let's go. Who we think, or who you want to start tomorrow?
Well, so for me, it's Walker, Diaz, Stones, and Aki at the back. For me,
obviously. So I'll go first, then see if you disagree or you change out. I'd go Edison, Aki, Diaz, Stones, Walker.
Yeah.
Obviously, Rodri in midfield with KDB,
Yeah.
I'd play Jack on the left, Bernardo on the right, Foden in the middle-ish with Haaland up front. Have I got that? 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's what I would be. Let us know in the chat if you go with that. So I'll go Edison, Aki left back, Diaz left-sided centre back, Stones it right-sided centre back with Walker right back, Roderick, KDB, Foden with Bernardo on the right, Jack on the left, and Haaland up front. The reason why I say Jack on the left, he will take a kick in or two, won't he? And we know we can handle it. Whereas I think Doku will just shy off a little bit. So go on. Would you change any of that?
The only one I would change, and it's not, I'm not getting into the Doku Greedies debate. I'm picking it like to use stands and all, and see certain keys for certain locks. Brentford are going to sit back, and they're going to put 10 men behind the ball.
I don't think they will, Brentford. I don't think.
Oh, they will. Absolutely, they will. And Greedies, through Pep's instructions, I know, goes down the wing, fairly rarely takes a man on and crosses it in. He passes back and the ball is recycled.
Yeah.
I think Doku poses more of a threat because it's going to take 2 or 3 to stop him because there's only one thing in his mind. Now, he has been passing it back a lot more recently, but he still has that explosive pace to get past that last man. And if Haaland is going to be up front, he's going to have a field day because he knows the ball's coming in. And that's the only reason why I picked Doku over Greedies and that type of a game.
Doku. Doku. You're Koku, mate, not Doku. So
well, hold on, you pronounce his name. Spell it.
IT. You said spell it. IT. Doku is D-O-K-U. And Marie, so if Paddy would make just that one adjustment, is anything you would...
No, I don't think there's too much I'd change with that, to be honest. Because then you look at... No, it's not that. The only thing that... The only change I'd possibly make would be put Phil out on the right, not start with Bernardo and bring in Kovacic. So you've got him and Rodri.
Great shout, that, actually.
Mm.
Then you can push Kev further forward.
So you put Foden out on the right.
Yeah.
Drop Burnley and put Cover in there with KDB and Rodri.
Yeah.
That's actually what I always call for Emery. They have Matteo in beside Rodri. We're a lot stronger. So one goes forward, one stays back.
Hey, Emery, that's not a bad shout.
No, it just adds a little bit of extra cover in the midfield, doesn't it?
Yeah. But then again, going back to your point, Andy, and your player Nunes, because of what I said, that Brentford's going to sit back and hit us on the break, he might play Nunes because of his speed and what he can do. He might play Nunes and besides Rodri.
Possibly. Let's see what some of the guys say in the chat. You know who they would bring in. Whew, so many tonight. Doku is good. Alex says Doku is getting. He's better just that final pass. Yeah, I agree. I thought he had a good game the other night, mate. To be totally fair to him. Super say, oh no, please, no, Doku can't be seeing ping pong tomorrow. I can totally see that as well. I just think he needs dipping in, dipping out. Jack needs some sort of continuity as well. So I just think Jack will get kicked up and down, and he'll be all right. Whereas Doku will get kicked up and down and not necessarily react in the right way. Don't know. Martin says Doku, great explosive pace, but final ball is terrible at the moment. And that's it. And that's that for me, like a few have said about Doku's final ball and stuff, it's not slaughtering the lad, it's just constructive, criticism.
No, and that's something we can that as a team they can improve on.
Yeah.
So I've got no worries about that at all. I think though that his pace scares teams.
Stevie says, put William Hill just in front of our defence. You know something? Got something better than William Hill, mate. They've got Ivan Toney. I'm sure he knows more than William Hill.
He's on first name terms with William Hill.
Oh, God. Formidable's good evening, mate. Bernardo is fresh. And listen, and again, me and Martin sort of like, I beg to differ on something. Martin says players dropped. I say rested or rotated because there's an argument for every one of our players that they deserve to start. So
rotated is a better word than dropped.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that, Anne-Marie. So if everybody has got a good chance of starting, you can't exactly use the word drop because they're there or thereabouts. I forget who it was now. There was an interview with him. It might have been it was a City player anyway, and they don't class it as substitutes. They class it as the ones who come on are finishing the game off. They don't say, "Oh, he's substitute." They're finishing the game off. So that shows straight away a different mentality as well than sort of like the average fan who says, "Oh, dropped or whatever." But you're right, Bernardo is fresh, and there's a great shout for everybody. Will everybody stop agreeing with Anne-Marie, please?
Jealous.
Right, Martin says, drop, hang on. You say rotate. Rotated or rested? It's rotated or rested is exactly the same, mate.
Martin, you're nitpicking. Bugger off.
You tell him. Pardo Oats Daffy Doku. Man. Oh, mate. It's Count Doku.
I'll tell you one thing. It's some problem they have, isn't it? They have a full team to choose from.
Yeah. And that itself will send messages to Clippity Clop and Arteta does let me bits
Is
in it.
there anybody else that would love to see Clippity Clop fall on his face and smash those bloody teeth of his?
YouTube, if anybody's watching it, that's not aggressive or violent hate speech. That's just Anne-Marie's opinion. Yes, I would. I'd love to see his railings going.
Would you like to see him fall on your boot?
No, listen. No hate speech for me. I said the other yesterday. I only used the word. When you got something stuck in your throat, you choke. I said that word and got suspended off Twitter.
Yeah, well, I got reported by somebody on Facebook for wishing them a happy new year. And the report came back as it being sexually explicit.
Well, it depends how you put it.
I just said happy new year.
Mahrez. You were told to leave Mahrez alone.
Yeah, you were told to leave Mahrez alone, weren't you? But
Anne-Marie.
I'm going to ask you for something for my 50th birthday as a present.
Hey!
Did you say 50?
Yes.
Again?
No. First time round, I'll be 50 in July.
You're going to ask me or Paddy?
I'm going to ask you to get rid of that Mahrez thing.
Okay, I'm going to delete that one now. I'll delete that Mahrez one now. Right, okay.
Don't be putting food in the mic.
Hello, Anne-Marie. I just want to say happy birthday to you. Happy.
What? It's fair enough, isn't it? Anne-Marie's speechless. She's speechless. Yeah.
You've been keeping that up her sleeve, so you have.
Alex says Anne-Marie gave Riyadh love bites and everything.
Alec, I thought we were friends.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm not going to do a prediction because you know my predictions. In fact, I'll do a prediction. Yeah. I'm going to go for 3-1 Brentford. Yeah.
Have you been drinking?
No, look, my reverse psychology. Like today, you look on Twitter, my Twitter feed today. I had 3-1 Liverpool.
I'm on a self-imposed digital detox.
Oh yeah.
They keep me away from people like you.
Gunnar says on TikTok, Brentford 3-1. I hope you're right, Andy. I hope I'm not, mate. No, seriously.
3-1 City.
Right, Anne-Marie says 3-1 City. Go on. Let's have some predictions in the chat before we skedaddle.
I'm going to go 2-0 to us.
Alex says, Andy, are we winning the treble? Absolutely, mate. I did call it after the Burnley game. Not the Burnley game just gone. The start of the season. You asked Martin. For Midwells, he's saying 3-1. DC saying 2-1 City. Section 3-0. Alex going 3-1 City. Steve is going... Whoop, bounced up there. Steve is going 2-0. Facebook... Oh, sorry. I don't want to call you Facebook user. I'll have a look in a bit and I'll acknowledge you on the finger. Saying 4-1 City. Pardo 3-1 City. So all very, very confident.
I definitely think we've clicked. I definitely think we're not the team we were before Christmas.
Yeah.
Anthony's saying, good evening, Anthony. 4-0 City. Well, listen, there'll be nowhere to hide it if we don't. We not that City have not used excuses, by the way, but what I'm saying is we can't use an excuse if we fall short because we've got everything we wanted now, like full strength team and so on and so forth, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tim is saying there's a lot of 3-1s. 3-1 City.
We are playing well, Andy, in fairness. We are. We definitely have. It's like a well-oiled machine now. And as you said earlier at the start of the podcast, the mere fact that every player is available,
yep,
you have to up your game now. Otherwise, you're going to be on the bench. And you can call it drop, rotate it, keys for locks, call it whatever you want. But if somebody's training harder than you in training, you'll not be in the first 11.
Did you see Anne-Marie's eyes light up then when you said keys for lock? She was like, not them keys in the bowl, Anne-Marie. Stop it now. Oh, what's this show become? What's it become? Yeah, we'll see, and we'll chat about it next Sunday. By the way, next Sunday we've got a special guest with us. Next Sunday we've got, for anybody who knows him, John Stapleton will be joining us. I think John wants to talk a bit about. I know what's still griping him, and that's the Istanbul trip, and also the train services, you know, for away matches and stuff like that, as well as he might want to talk a bit about the old main road days as well. So, you know, join us next week as well, because I'm sure.
Well, at least he wants to talk about it, because the club certainly don't.
About what?
Yeah, disappointed in the club.
The club don't want to talk about how their fan like we mocked Liverpool, right? About whinging and moaning and crying, but they seem to get their way because of it. Like, we had the same treatment in Istanbul, and no, we're not talking about it.
Istanbul. No. From you, we've got Istanbul. What is it? Doku. Gaviscon. It's a good job I know what you mean, mate, isn't it?
Are you being racist?
Oh, you cat. Did
Dig
somebody
yourself out of that hole, Andy.
You like to go into YouTube jail.
Did you hear that water? They're laughing. Sorry, Anne-Marie. So again, John will be joining us next Sunday, not normal time. That'll be a good show. It's always good to get a good guest or two on and stuff like that. And I've got some more lined up as well. Ex-City player Izzy Christensen will also be joining us this month as well. So yeah, I will get a few on. Are you happy with that, Anne-Marie?
Very.
Anthony, yes, as far as I know, he does, mate. He still travels up to the matches regular. Yeah, so yeah, I've got some other guests lined up as well who I know will join us very, very soon. Thank you for all your lovely comments as well. You know, we do it for you, as we say on every show. Thanks for everybody who's joined us on TikTok as well. A pleasure as always. Gunners, no, we won't lose tomorrow for you, mate. But nice try. So anything else before we go, lady and gentlemen?
No, all good. Thanks, everybody. We couldn't do it without you.
Thanks, folks. Enjoy your evening.
Yeah, enjoy your evening, and we will do it again. When we will do it again?
Sunday.
Next Sunday at 7:00.
Absolutely. Come on, City. Have a good work. Have a good week all. Bye-bye now.